So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome at CEPS for a very timely event. We are having this meeting today just after the referendum in Slovenia, where 51-point-something% of Slovenians voted in favor of the agreement to settle the issue of the Piran Bay, which remained one of the major hurdles for Croatia to clear on its road to accession. We were discussing this earlier with the Secretary of State, and of course this is something which is extremely important for Croatia. And therefore we were glad to have someone here who is in a position to comment on that and give us an idea of what the future looks like and how fast and how soon Croatia can be a full member of the European Union. For this, we have someone who is particularly well placed, Secretary of State Andrej Plenkovic. He has had a brilliant career. Within 2 years of getting his BA in law, he was in the cabinet of the Deputy Prime Minister of Croatia. He went on to be member of the negotiating team for Croatia. He was the head of the European Department of the Foreign Ministry in no time. So he's always been following closely this process from up and close. He has also been, between 2002 and 2005, the deputy head of the mission here in Brussels. So many of you will have known him in that capacity. I did. And after that, he has been, before being appointed Secretary of State, he has also been the head of the mission in Paris. So without further ado, I leave the floor to Andrej Plenkovic, and we'll take some questions later.
Thank you, Marco. It's a great pleasure to speak at the Center for European Policy Studies in Brussels. Actually, it is a little bit of comeback for me to Brussels today, because I've spent very interesting 3 years here at the time when Croatia was reflecting on applying and lobbying for the positive LV, and just before the opening of the accession negotiations. So it was a very interesting period between 2002 and 2005 for me in Brussels.
I will sort this out, but you can use this one.
Take yours. Yes. I'm sorry. Indeed, a very timely occasion to be in Brussels and to speak about the Croatia's EU accession for a number of reasons. First of all, because it is the day of the Croatian diplomacy. On the 7th of June, 879, the letter of, at the time, Pope John VIII was addressed to the Croatian King Branimir, and it was the first written remain that we have of the recognition of Croatia as a state. So we use this day as the feast of the Croatian diplomacy, and there is an event actually at this time happening in our ministry in Zagreb. The other excellent reason is that our friends and neighbors, Slovenians, voted yesterday on a referendum on the arbitration agreement between Croatia and Slovenia, which, as you might have read this morning, was actually a vote saying yes, that the majority of those who voted, out of 42% of Slovenians who presented themselves at the polling stations yesterday, voted in favor by a majority of 51.5 and 48.5. We believe this is an excellent news both for Croatia and Slovenia, but also an excellent news for the European Union. You are aware that this frontier issue between the two countries has been one of those residual questions of the dissolution of the former Yugoslavia. It has been in the air for about 19 years. There were several attempts to address it and to solve it, but so far none of those attempts was actually bringing a solution in the sight. But yesterday the Slovenian people said yes to an agreement which was brokered also by the presidencies, especially the Swedish one, but also with the help of the French presidency, the European Commission, the Czech presidency, over the period of last 18 months. And we are now in the position to say that the political obstacles, especially regarding the Chapter 31, which was the chapter for the Common Foreign and Security Policy and Defense Policy, which entailed, in a way, the notion of the good neighbourly relations, especially from the point of view of Slovenia, is supposed to be opened by the end of this month. So this is a very good news, and now it is up to the Croatian and the Slovenian authorities to prepare for the arbitration itself, which will start, the deadlines will start on the day that the Croatia signs the accession treaty. This is very important, so we suppose that both sides now have at least 10 to 12 months to prepare for the arbitration process. Another good reason why is it a timely occasion to be here today is that we are here only a few days after the high-level meeting in Sarajevo, which was organized by the Spanish presidency. And it was a meeting which came at the 10th anniversary of the Zagreb summit. Plenty of you who perhaps follow the policies of the EU towards the Southeast Europe remember that at the initiative of President Chirac at the time and President Mesic, we had the Zagreb summit on the 24th of November 2000. It was the high-level event which paved the way in the European perspective for all the countries in the region for their road to the European Union. 10 years later, I assume most of us who were present at that summit in Zagreb would have thought that Croatia at least would have been a member already. Unfortunately, this is not the case. We were all very optimistic. That's why we, at the time, projected it was a very good idea to be a non-permanent member of the Security Council during 2008 and 2009. But the realities of the process were a little bit more cumbersome than we thought. And we have not managed to become a member by 2010. Our objective at the time was 2007. Then it was prolonged to 2009. But here we are looking at the 2012, I would say, in terms of full membership. Another good reason is that the most important political condition on our way to the European Union is the cooperation with the ICTY. And the chief prosecutor, Mr. Serge Bramertz, visited Croatia a couple of days ago. He met with President Josipovic, he met with the Prime Minister Kosor, he attended a regional conference of the state prosecutors which was held at the island of Brijuni, and his visit was also an important part of the puzzle for Croatia's EU accession, because as you are aware, it is a part of the conditionality policy linked to the opening of the Chapter 23, Judiciary and the Fundamental Freedoms. And we have seen his written report being circulated at the Security Council on the 1st of June. We await his presentation in front of the EU Council next Monday in Luxembourg. And we also look forward for his oral presentation at the Security Council on the 16th of June.